This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little piece of music there was me having a fool around with something of an exotic sounding scale. More on that later. And it's relevant to today's content because today is Wednesday, and as you know, on Wednesdays we deal with viewers' questions. So if you have any question or query of a music or guitar related nature, then get in touch with me. You can see the website address there at the top of the screen. Use the contact form there. Link is in the description, by the way. Or you can use my email address, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Or you can leave a comment below this or any of my other videos, and your question could become the star of the show in one of these Wednesdays videos. What I'm doing today, though, is I'm combining two questions that I've had, which I think are kind of nicely related. I've had a question about, what are exotic scales? How do you find out what notes are in them? How do you know when to use them? What can you do with them? That sort of thing. And the other question I had was that perennial one about, how do you break out of a rut? If you are just feeling a little bit stale and don't know what direction to go in to reinvigorate your creativity and your playing. Well, I thought, why not use exotic scales or have a play around with them, see what you can come up with. And, well, that's what we're talking about today. So here's a little bit of an explanation about how I put together that piece of music that we heard just recently at the top of the video.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so I've got Guitar Pro open. As you can see, this is a rather old version of it. I'm still using Guitar Pro 5. I think it's up to about version 8 these days. So what I'm going to show you here, you might have to look around and hunt for it in different menus and stuff in the current version, but it should still be there. So I'm going to go into the Tools menu, and I'm going to open the Scales dialog here. And basically we can look up a whole range of different scales and stuff in here. So if we choose an A root note and just start having a look, see what we've got in here. We could, for instance, have a look at maybe the Neapolitan minor scale. So let's see what notes that gives us. Okay, so we've got A sharp, C, D, E, F and G sharp. So it's kind of like a harmonic minor scale with a flattened second. There's other ones that you could look. Let's have a look at the Hungarian minor scale. A, B, C, D sharp, E, F and G sharp. So it's like, I guess, a harmonic minor with a raised fourth. And all kinds of stuff. So basically the point I'm making is that you can look up scales in here, find out what notes are in them. Let's have a look at maybe one more. I don't know, what's this, the Kumoi scale? What's in that? Yeah, not very much by the looks of it. You can. There's the Neapolitan minor. I think that's the one I'm going to go with. So you can look up what notes are in a scale, and then you can start thinking about what chords you can build from those notes, which is what I'm about to do next. Okay, so I find myself at this little handy website here. And basically this is just a little utility that will tell you what chords any given scale will generate. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose the A root note, and then we're going to go into the exotic section, and we've got here Neapolitan minor, so that's the one we chose. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, straight away I can see a discrepancy here. This website seems to think that Neapolitan minor has a G note in it, but if we remember that last little thing in Guitar Pro, the Neapolitan minor had the G sharp note in it. I think we may need to go to just the Neapolitan scale. There is some, kind of discrepancy in scale naming from time to time, just to make life. It's nice to have another thing to worry about, isn't it? But basically, this is telling us, we've got the A sharp, C, D, E, F, and G sharp. That's the scale that Guitar Pro identified as the Neapolitan minor. And it's telling us that the A note can give us an A minor, an A5, an A sus4. We can get an A sharp major, A sharp 7, A sharp 5. You get the idea. You can just look up on this table here what chords that scale will give you. So I think the next thing to do is to write a little piece of a little chord sequence based around some of these chords. Right, and this is a little screen grab from that website we've just been looking at, basically the chords that scale will give us. And I'm just going to have a bit of a play around now and see what I can come up with that will end up being the piece of music that you've already heard at the start of the video. So obviously I'm going to have an A minor. Then I can see I've got the A sharp there, or B flat, as you would probably be better off calling it in this circumstance here, naming etiquette and so on. But I can see I can get a B flat or an A sharp 7th. So I can get an F there as well. And then my ear is telling me E7. But if we look in the E column, there isn't an E7, there's just an E augmented. That's because E7 has a B note in it, and we don't have a B note in this scale. But luckily, I can play this version of E7, which is just that sort of cowboy chord, C7, just moved up the neck until it becomes an E7. The reason I can use that is because it doesn't have the B note in it. This voicing kind of conveniently omits the note that this scale doesn't give us, so we can use that version. So that's giving us so far something that sounds like this. Yeah, now that would naturally lead us back to an A minor. But one thing I do like to do when I'm writing a chord sequence is to kind of do what's often called a deceptive cadence, where you make the listener with this chord think that they're going back to this chord, just subconsciously. Once you hear that, it wants to resolve to that. Just let's kind of delay that a little bit, and it's sometimes called an interrupted cadence as well. So we're going to go to, I think, we've got a D minor we can use in this scale. And we've also got F minor. So that's a nice change. I'm looking at this here and I can see, Oh, we've got a D, sort of a D diminished. It's actually going to be a D minor 7 flat 5 because the notes are D, F, G sharp or A flat and C, and all of those notes are in the scale. If we look, D, F, G sharp and C, yeah. So that which is basically nothing more when you think about it. That's just that F minor chord that we know is there, and if we put a D bass note underneath that, we get that D minor 7 flat 5. Let's have a listen how that's sounding. So. I think now we need to put that, well, we've used the E7 once already, let's put the E augmented in, like that, which will bring us nicely back to the A minor again. Let's see what that sounds like, let's run it all together. There. I'm pleased with that. I'm going to go and beaver away in Reaper now and start knocking that into some sort of musical shape. So there you go. That is just one way that you can find an exotic scale and turn it into some chords and write something with it. It's a good way of busting out of a rut, and it's a good way of learning about exotic scales as well. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. So hopefully all that made sense. You know, you don't need a massive amount of theoretical knowledge. You can look up the scale in Guitar Pro, or you can Google it or whatever. You know, that'll tell you what notes are in the scale, and then you can use that website that you saw me using there, which I'll link to in the description, by the way, which will tell you what chords are available from the notes of that scale. Then, you know, maybe there might be one or two chord shapes there that you don't know, but again, you can Google those. You know, it's you know, just have a go and see what you can come up with, and you might just be pleasantly surprised with the results. I certainly was when I put that piece of music together. It came together quite easily in the end. You know, and one thing I will mention there is that sort of wah solo part in the middle. I wasn't using the Neapolitan minor scale to play that. I just went back into my old minor pentatonic comfort zone because, you know, at the end of the day, that is a chord sequence which has an A minor kind of feel to it. So, you know, basically you can play over it with an A minor pentatonic. It's reminiscent of I guess, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. The chord sequence that Eric Clapton plays over on that is kind of bouncing around between the A minor Dorian, A minor Aeolian, and a little bit of harmonic minor in there as well. You know, but Clapton just plays over the top of it, not with any of those scales. He just plays A minor pentatonic over it, and it's a classic guitar solo. So, you know, you've got that approach you can take as well, or you can do something a little bit more composed, focusing on chord tones and stuff, using, well, for the melody, that I was using the Neapolitan minor scale. I should mention as well, by the way, that as always there is a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats for that little piece of music. You know, there's the tab, there's the jam track, there's that explanation you've just seen there, and there's the clip of me playing the piece of music as is entirely normal for these things. All of that is up on my Patreon page. Let's put the address up there again. Link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive thank you to each and every one of you who support me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. And that is it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it useful and informative and hopefully entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and a whole host of other things. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.